Hi, I'm Miss Shannon. I'm one of the librarians here at Naperville Public Library, and today we're going to talk about mochi and then make a charm for the New Year's based on mochi. So let's get started.
So today our program is Mochi. Learn all about it. You may be familiar with mochi since it's available in this country now in the form of mochi ice cream balls and mochi puff snacks. But mochi is a very traditional food in Japan, and it even figures into Japanese folklore. Whereas we see the man in the moon, the Japanese think there is a rabbit up there pounding mochi, which is also the logo for a Japanese cosmetic company called Makanai, and the basis for the pun name of the anime character Tsuki no Usagi, Rabbit of the Moon, aka Sailor Moon. Mochi is made from glutinous or sticky rice, which is steamed first, then pounded to form a smooth, chewy texture. It is made into many things, including treats like dango and the decorative New Year's food called Kagami Mochi. Mochi is involved in Akita Prefecture's Namahage festival, held in February, in which the Namahage, a type of oni or demon that loves mochi, comes down from the mountains to scare bad children. For the festival, family friends come and dress up as the Namahage, complete with flaming torches and fake knives, and they shout, "Nakuko wa inega," are there any crybabies around? And they chase and grab the children, and then everybody eats mochi that is roasted over the bonfire, and the Namahage run away, and you can decide whether any kids get traumatized by this experience, because look at those Namahage. And you may have even seen mochi as an emoji on your phone. The stick with 3 multicolored dumplings on it is hanami dango, a mochi-based treat made for springtime cherry blossom viewing time. The colors represent the colors of sakura season. And traditionally, the pink color was made with purple shiso leaf, and the green was made with yomogi, which is mugwort. And if you want to see mochi being made, the best place is Japan, of course, but you can look on YouTube as well. The fastest mochi pounders are in Nara, which was once the capital of Japan, and it's now known for the Park of Sacred Deer, at Nakatanido. And they make mochi with yomogi, which again is Japanese mugwort, and it's filled with anko, which is red bean paste, and then it's dusted with kinako, which is roasted soybean powder. And they use wooden mallets called kine and turn and flip the mochi between pounds, moistening it with water as well. Sumo wrestlers also do mochi pounding events around New Year's, partly to draw attention to their stable, but it's also a good workout. Mochi pounding is also done at shrines in Japan around New Year's, and you can sometimes see such events done at stores like Mitsuwa in the Chicago area. And just a caution here, be sure if you eat traditional mochi to chew it very well. The sticky texture can cause the mochi to stick in your throat, and people have died, especially children and the elderly, so be careful. And now we'll take a look at Kagami Mochi. So Kagami Mochi is the traditional New Year's display dating to the 14th century, most basically composed of 2 round cakes of mochi, the bottom one a bit larger than the top, with a Japanese bitter orange with an attached leaf on top. And this fruit symbolizes longevity since it won't fall from the tree for some years. It is offered to Toshigami-sama, the deity of the new year. Other auspicious foods may be included depending on the region. Umeboshi, which are pickled plums, kombu, which is seaweed, and so on. And it can also be decorated with paper fans or knotted cords called mizuhiki, and ferns, and so on. Japanese supermarkets sell Kagami Mochi in December if you're not inclined to make your own. The Kagami Mochi should be decorated and put out on December 28th, so the deities have time to enjoy it. Generally, it would be placed in the kamidana, which is the small household shrine, but you can also place them in whatever room you would like, according to Japan's Kagami Mochi Association, and more is better. The corresponding deities to each room will be pleased with these displays. And January 11th is the day of Kagami Biraki, which is cracking the Kagami Mochi. A wooden hammer is used to break the mochi into pieces, never a knife, as that is thought to sever family ties. And then the pieces of mochi are put into the traditional Japanese New Year dish, ozoni soup, for everyone to eat. Mochi at New Year's is a long-standing tradition, as you can see in these vintage images. The stereoscope photo entitled "The Ornament of New Year" shows two women making a Kagami Mochi in Yokohama, and the 19th century woodblock print by Yashima Gakute shows toasted mochi, which was a treat at the New Year. So whether you try mochi at New Year's or at another festival, or taste the specialty variety of a certain city, be sure to enjoy some mochi soon. For this project, we are going to use white clay, green clay, orange clay, and in this case we are using air dry clay, but if you want to use something different, you can. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make two different balls here for the two different pieces of the Kagami Mochi. Now, you can make them whatever sizes you want, but the bottom one has to be slightly bigger than the top one. So we'll experiment with this a little bit. And you want to flatten it out on the bottom. I'm just going to kind of test it out a little bit. And it's not going to be perfect initially, and that's fine. And if this one comes out like a little bit too close to being the size of the top one, or the bottom one rather, then I might pinch off a small piece to make it more obvious that they're not the same size. Keeping them. Okay, so I feel like that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna separate them again and make sure, like I wanna get rid of that seam. Just make it a little nicer looking. And just however you want it. And again, this is kind of the simplest of Kagami Mochi. So they're just gonna be the two pieces of the rice cake. So I'm gonna stack them together. There we go. Then we're going to make the tangerine that goes on the top. And that, you just need a small piece of the orange. And so I'm gonna make it round. And again, however you wanna do it, if it's easier to roll it on the tabletop for you, or if you wanna roll it in your hands, that works well. And you want it again to be smaller than the two pieces of mochi, so that fits pretty nicely on top of there. I'm happy with that. And you don't wanna smash it down too much so you maintain the integrity of the round size. And then for the very end here, we just get a little piece of the green. That might even be too much, so pinch off a little bit. And this, we're gonna kind of freestyle a little leaf shape. Whoops. And hopefully you can see this with my fingers in the way, but you'll see it at the end too. So I'm just gonna make a cute little leaf. And you just wanna set it across the top and press down on the end a little bit to make sure it adheres. And that's it. Thanks for joining me, and make sure to join us for more crafts soon.